What's going on, everybody? It is Elijah Best. I'm the CEO and founder of Vet Boss, and I'm also known as Vet Boss, as you can see there on the bottom. I'm super elated and pumped up to share with you what I discovered after investing over $45,000 for mentorship on the highest level, and after I went through 2 years of hard knocks on the streets to learn how to build multiple six-figure companies. I built two of them after the Air Force, and how I helped multiple eight-figure companies do millions of dollars in sales. So I'm super stoked to explain all that to you. But before I get into that and share that, I really want to share with you a little bit more about my background so you get to know me a little bit, and so you can really understand and get like really clear crystal vision on this process. So when I was in the Air Force, as I mentioned, my name is Elijah. I wanted to build a six-figure business as quickly as possible, right? So when I was transitioning, I was watching a lot of YouTube. I was looking at Tai Lopez, all these great, incredible people. I even looked into trucking. I really wanted to find that quickest route. And so I decided that search engine optimization was the fastest route for me at the time to build a six-figure business. But what happened was, when I was going through that process, it was a lot more harder than I thought. And so I decided to actually work with a company and start knocking on doors so I can learn the fundamentals of building a business. So at that time, my consulting company was doing about zero. And within about 6 months, I started learning the missing pieces that I was missing for about a year or like 6 months at that time. And I started putting these pieces together into my consulting business. And then I was able to grow my consulting business to 10K a month. And then I was able to make 10K a month by helping that company do more in sales. And then what happened was, I decided to say, hey, I don't want to help you guys with your businesses anymore. I want to do my own thing. And they said, no. We really like your value. So how about you just stay here and coach our people to just help them continue to do better and implementing whatever you're doing, because it's working and we're making some good money from it. And we'd love to just keep you on, just show up for a couple hours a day. So I literally only came up for like a couple hours, and I would coach them and I would leave. And it wasn't even 5 days a week. And to most people, it would have been like I was living the life. I was making about $20,000 a month, in my own company, and then helping other companies. It was great. They were happy. I was happy. The thing is, I actually was not that happy, right? Like I said, to most people, they would be happy, but I started to get really burned out. And I started realizing that I wasn't pursuing my purpose and answering my calling. So I had this thing pounding me in my chest saying, you need to do bigger things. You need to do bigger things. And I didn't know how to put my purpose together and to start a business from scratch and be able to scale it online with group coaching and online coaching and automated courses. And I really wanted to do that. And so these are the 5 elements that I found after working in my business, getting that to 6 figures, and then starting another coaching business, getting that to 6 figures, and then helping clients, civilians, do millions in sales. And, after that, I also thought to myself, well, if civilians can do this, why don't I share this with veterans? And just for a little bit, I've been sharing it with veterans. We already got my youngest client. She's enrolling 5K clients. We got some clients who are a little bit more shy, enrolling clients for 2,900, using what I'm about to share with you and what I discovered right here. And yes, it is accurately called MEPS. But before I get into it, let me explain. Most coaches, if they already are a coach, or if they're just about to start a coaching business, meaning they want to answer their calling, they want to get paid to do what they would do for free so they don't eventually get burned out, and they want to make really good money for doing that, and they want to be able to control their schedule. Most of the time what they do is they don't have any system to get clients, and so they just feel like they're rain dancing all the time. They're looking at the sky and they're hoping that a client just falls out of the sky and they're going to make money, right? And what I say is, if you're going to have a successful 6-figure business, you need to have a predictable income. You need to be able to have a system to where when you turn the water on, the clients come out. Just like when as sure as you are in the morning, when you turn on your water to fix up a cup of water, that water is going to be there. You need a system to where you can control when the clients turn on and when they turn off, instead of just waiting for it to rain, which is outside of your control. And the way that I show people, my clients, how to do that is through a system called MEPS. So how many people do you know are just like trying to get their family members or friends on a phone call, and they want to do sales, but they have no marketing, they have no branding, or they're spending like months and months? How many coaches, or how many of you are spending like months just messing around with the logo, but you're not really getting started? You're messing around with these websites, with these funnels, but you're not really getting started, and you have no marketing, right? So we call this, MEPS, like I said before, and the M stands for marketing. Okay? You got to have strong marketing, or you're not going to have the authority in your sales process, which brings me to the E, okay? So you need an enrollment process. One thing I learned when I was, helping those companies do millions in sales is they had what I call a no-brainer enrollment process. So, when people are going to invest in like $45,000, for solar panels, which is what we are doing at the time, it really needs to be a no-brainer for them to do something like that. And that's why they were able to, meet someone like me or meet someone from the company, and within 48 hours, make a huge purchase like that. Is because the sales process was a no-brainer. So that's why I give all my clients a brand, like a spanking new, script, so they don't have to guess what to say, and they're able to remain authentic while they're communicating, but they're really just able to communicate the value to where it's a no-brainer. So they're not trying to twist arms and, they're struggling to get sales, right? And then my favorite one is product. You want to have a transformational high-ticket product, okay? And let me really dive a bit deeper into this, okay? And then we'll come back. All right. So I know a lot of coaches right now, they are trying to build an email list. They're trying to give a free offer. And so they're trying to come out with an ebook, or they're blogging, and they're spending tons of energy. Like, how much energy it takes to write one good blog post? Because if you're going to write a blog post, it needs to be valuable. So you need to actually spend your time doing that. So let's say they spend their hours, let's say 6 to 8 hours writing a blog post or whatever, an ebook, or it takes weeks or months messing with this ebook to a market that they don't even know what kind of thing they want really. But let's say that ebook was, $10. Okay. That means that they would have to sell 1,000 of those in order to hit 10K. All right. So imagine selling 1,000 ebooks every single month. You know how long it takes to build the firepower, the gunpowder for something like that, an operation like that? It will take you years, maybe 2-3 years on the short side, to build up that type of email list to be able to sell 1,000 ebooks, okay? Because the conversion rate is probably like at 1%. So just think about that. You need a huge email list in order to sell that ebook. Okay. And then you have other coaches who are doing classes, right? So they're doing classes to where they're charging, let's say they're charging $100 per session, right? I know a lot of people are charging, right around $100 per class after talking to like hundreds of coaches, probably even thousands almost at this point. So, a lot of coaches are just doing $100 for classes. Okay. And so in order to do that, you need to sell 100 of these. Okay. In order to get to 10,000 classes, 10,000 a month. So if you're selling a class for $100, you need to sell 100 of those in order to get to 10K a month. All right. That's a lot of stuff that you're wasting time doing, low impact things that you could be using on your clients. Let me explain this to you, because, in order to sell 100 classes, you need to have a lot of phone calls. And in order to generate those phone calls, you need to do marketing. So imagine the hours that are going to, sell these classes. That's a lot. Okay. And so the quickest way to really get to 10K a month, and why 10K a month? Because if you want to give your clients transformational results, you need to have the time and you need to be rejuvenated. You need to have the energy by, being able to get better and better and better, and have time to train yourself and to learn all the good things and pour that stuff into you. Let's say you're just charging, $3,500 for a transformational program. You're actually over, that's 10,500 that you're making with just by selling 3 of them. Okay. So that's really it in a nutshell. you need a high ticket product because you need to have a profit margin. And if you don't have a profit margin, it's going to be really, really hard to scale. So that's product. Okay. Oh, other way. Bring it back. There we go. Okay. And then you need what I call systems. So the reason why I was able to make 10K a month in my business and then make 10K a month by helping other companies in their business is because I had the systems in my company in order to get sales while I wasn't even there. So I show my clients how to hire VAs at this time of the recording the video. I show them how to hire VAs for $3 an hour so they can do all the tedious low impact things to free up my clients so they can do high impact things. Okay. And then last but not least is self-mastery. This does two things. If you can't tell yourself to do a thing and then go do that thing, then it's going to be hard for you to do anything. And number two, there's a belief of when you first get into business that you're trying to do what can help you make money. But I really changed that up. To me, that's the old way. The new way of doing things is discovering your purpose and then building a business from the ground up from scratch. And this way you're never going to get burned out and you'll be so passionate about what you're doing. It's going to be easy for you to remain authentic. You already have the skills for it because if it's your purpose, what would be the purpose of you being here? And then if it's your purpose, you're probably already naturally gifted at that, right? So we put you in your own lane, in that lane, and then we just let you go. And you're going to be so passionate and so excited that you're going to look so authentic when you're on camera, and you're going to be authentic, and you're going to have a great time building your business. So that's MEPS, Marketing and Rolling Product Systems and Self-Mastery. It's Elijah Best. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, and if you're looking to build your own six-figure coaching business, you're a veteran, you're active duty, or you're a milspouse, go ahead and reach out to either me or my team. Or if this is in the link with the post above, go ahead and book a call. Or there will be somewhere where you can book a call. Go ahead and book a call so you can carve out some time where I personally will talk to you or someone on my team will talk to you. And I'm looking forward to that chat. So everybody take care. It's Elijah Best, also known as Vet Boss, as you see at the bottom. I'm out. Peace.